You hear it all the time. Watch out for the red flags. But do you? Sometimes yes. More often you ignore the warning signs and choose to put your time and energy into entertaining or even falling in love with the possibilities of what things could become. When you ignore the red flags, it's easy to fall for the potential of where the relationship can go or who they can be instead of seeing who they are now. This is part 2 of the 10 red flags that I saw and ignored in my past relationships. I mean, there was a lot more, but you're getting the top 10. And if you haven't watched part 1, please make sure you do. Welcome back to SuesSpace. If you're a new subscriber, welcome in. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. I'm grateful for your support, as this channel was created for you young people so that you can have a space to talk about your struggles and challenges. Our conversations are coming from a place of wisdom and experience. I've struggled, I've healed what was meant to break me, and I'm here. So don't forget to tap the notification bell so that you are notified every time I upload. This will help with my mission of reaching as many young people as possible. Your voice matters, so let's grow this space together. I don't know why I feel like I need to tell you this, but just because there's 10 red flags doesn't mean that there was 10 different people. Some of these red flags are from one person, okay? Every time a relationship ended, I would always get mad at myself for putting that person in a position that they had not earned or deserved. I always wanted to see the good in people, and even after ignoring the red flags, I needed to prove that that person was not the person that they were showing themselves to be, that over time, if I loved them enough, then they would change and treat me better. No. Mental abuse is one of the worst forms of abuse, and this mask-wearing, shape-shifting trickster covered up his abusive ways with niceness. He was a smooth operator. Smooth operator. Smooth operator. And once again, I allowed my heart for people to ignore the red flags, ignore my intuition, and pour love into someone who was not mature enough to handle it. In the beginning, this guy was nice and attentive, but over time I noticed he started picking and pointing out what he saw as flaws, like my hairstyles and my nail color. When he realized that I was unbothered by his opinions, he switched to trying to make me believe that everything I did or said was wrong, and he would brush me off anytime I challenged his views or disagreed with him. Anytime our conversation got deep, he was always giving,
"I don't want to talk about this anymore. Let's change the subject."
Like the conversation made him uncomfortable. The first and the last time he stood me up, he carried on like nothing ever happened, like everything was cool. He completely ignored the fact that he was a no-show. I had to bring it up 1 week later after it became obvious that he wasn't going to, and he gave no apology. All I got was,
"Oh yeah, that was a bit naughty of me, wasn't it?"
Yeah. My intuition was screaming at me like, what? And for a second, and I mean a hot second, he had me feeling like I was overacting for bringing it up. And still, he never gave a valid reason for not showing up. He was the true definition of a wolf in sheep's clothing. And trust me when I say the wrong relationship will turn you into someone that you don't even recognize. Looking back, I know I should have spoken up more about his behavior, especially when he started to try to knock my confidence to make me feel confused, unsure, or doubtful about myself. And I was confused. I was like, is this his love language? Because I refused to believe that these mind games were intentional. I had caught feelings for him, and I was vulnerable, and I refused to believe it because our connection was connecting, or so I thought. I was wrong, but that's what I thought. I may have had some childhood wounds that I still needed to heal from, but there was one thing I knew for sure, that what he was trying to project onto me was not my energy. It was his. Gaslighters can't stand anyone they see as more confident than them, and his mistake was thinking that he could crush my spirit and self-esteem without knowing how long or what it took for me to build it up. Do you not see what this guy is trying to do? Do you not see? But this time I threw down my Uno reverse card. Reverse, reverse, and backed out of the relationship gracefully. This guy tried to play on my emotions and ended up playing himself. Young people, pay attention to any manipulative warning sign and seek support if you believe that you're being gaslit. Watch how someone acts when things don't go their way, if they become arrogant when challenged, or if you don't agree with them. Look out if they're always twisting your words or pointing out your flaws and everyone else's, resent you for your boundaries, or act hostile when you call them out on their behavior. Because if they're not giving you the space to speak your truth and expect you to be silent, to be seen and not heard type of energy, they could be trying to gaslight you, knock you off your square, and dim your entire shine. Please walk away and exit on the left. Don't allow anyone to continue to manipulate your mind to lower your self-esteem to match theirs. It's dangerous to shrink yourself to make anyone comfortable. Make a choice not to waste your time, energy, or effort on anyone who tries to play with your heart or gaslights you to try to control your way of thinking. You're right about how you feel. Don't let them confuse you. They got me a few times before I learned this hard lesson that loaning money to or co-signing for anyone can lead to conflicts and disagreements when the person you loan money to refuses or struggles to pay it back. When I first moved to the US, I was so gullible. I thought everyone was love and light. I thought I could love the evil out of people and overgive, and in return I would receive equal give and take. But that's because I wasn't taught any different. I was convinced by this guy to co-sign an apartment, which is a red flag all by itself. I thought nothing of it, and I really wished that someone had schooled me about how bad of a decision that was. So young people, let me help you out. If anyone asks you to co-sign a loan, whether it's for a car, an apartment, or credit card, you share the responsibility and are legally obligated to repay that loan if they stop making payments. The best advice I can give you for someone who asks you to co-sign is don't do it. What you need to know is when someone needs a co-signer, the banks are basically saying that they don't trust this person to pay back the loan, and you shouldn't either, unless you are willing to pay back the loan when they default. I guess I hadn't learned my lesson because I thought being in a committed relationship would make a difference, and I co-signed for a truck for Mr. Alcoholic, who I mentioned in part 1, and when he entered rehab for the second time, don't judge me because I hadn't learned boundaries just yet. Okay? He left me with that debt. Trust me, you'll feel better messing up your own credit rather than risking co-signing and having to pay off their loan when they can't. After 3 months of dating, this guy got on one knee and proposed. He was the Romeo to my Juliet, and everything was going well until he asked to borrow some money to fix his car. And it wasn't a small amount either. I was conflicted because didn't I just tell you I was previously burned and had created some boundaries not to lend anyone any money unless I wasn't expecting it back. I had loaned money to a good friend in the past for a startup business that didn't start, and when he couldn't pay it back, it ruined our relationship. I felt like a fool. Just like I did when I decided to trust my fiance and write him a check. A few weeks after that check was cashed, well, do I really need to tell you what happened? All I'm going to say is I kept the ring. Some people may genuinely be down on their luck, and it's up to you to use your discernment in those times. But asking to borrow money from someone that you're in a relationship with may show you how irresponsible they are with theirs, or they could be trying to take advantage of you. It's not a good sign, so pay attention. It also could be a sign that they are spending their money on toxic habits like gambling, alcohol, drugs, or trying to live beyond their means. Why am I playing with this? Anyway, no matter how attracted you are to a person, lending them money won't get them to like or love you anymore. Loaning money is not always a bad thing if in the back of your mind, you're good if they don't pay you back. Or you can just give it to them as a gift. Just make sure that you're clear in letting them know your expectations for repayment. Just don't sign up to be anyone's cash cow or ATM. If you don't have money to date, then dating should be off the menu. Yes, I said it. And please don't come for me talking about you don't need money to date. If you don't need money to date, then don't ask to borrow it. That don't even make any sense. Emotionally unavailable or immature people usually let you know from the jump that they are not looking for a relationship and do not want to be tied down. They'll play hard to get and act nonchalant like they're not interested and act like they're the poop. And they'll keep you around if you allow them to. But the relationship won't go past this level. It will only stay surface level. And that's exactly how this person acted. I could tell that he had insecurities that made it difficult for him to express his emotions because I recognized the same insecurities in him that I had to heal from. There were times I sensed he wanted to but struggled to open up. He would detach and then disappear. He used silence as a way to punish any time I called him out on his crap or brought up conversations that required emotional responses. He was afraid to acknowledge and show that he cared, and the more I tried to get to know him, the more his guard went up. He refused to take off his mask and show his true self and his actual feelings. When someone is closed off and guarded, it's usually coming from fear of rejection, which can stem from experiencing past hurts, disappointments, and trauma, and whomever hurt him in his past, it showed. No judgment, because it took me years to heal from the trauma I experienced from Mr. Alcoholic, and I'm only calling him that because I'm not naming names. I've projected my hurt from my past onto people who had nothing to do with it by measuring them up as being like everyone else. So when it seemed that he was trying to make me pay for all the things that his past had done, I knew that I didn't deserve any of it. This relationship was frustrating and exhausting. It always felt like I was pulling out a tooth with long roots. I've worked in a dental office for many years, and I know and I've seen the struggle, and that's what it felt like. Young people, when you're wanting to be loved, be prepared to give the same. You can't expect something that you're not giving or overextend yourself to prove your love and loyalty by doing all the compromising. When there is no give and take, do not dismiss the red flags. Protect yourself in your heart by allowing people to rise up to meet you on your emotional level, not lowering yourself to meet them on theirs. And be open and honest where you are on your journey when it comes to your emotions. It's the only way to heal. It takes more of an effort to lie than it does to tell the truth. And if there's one thing that I can't stand is a liar. And I'm not talking about the little white lies. I'm talking about the lies where people use to manipulate and cover up deception. This guy always seemed to be hiding something. And a lot of the things he said just didn't add up. Okay, hold on. He was always sizing me up like I was too nice, too loving, too forgiving. Not everyone who is sweet and kind is naive, so don't be fooled like he was, because he definitely judged this book by its cover. After every conversation with this guy, I always felt like there was a missing piece to the puzzle to what he was saying. He left me with no clarity. His actions never matched his words. Heard it all before, but your lies ain't working now. Look who's hurting now, 'cause I had to shut you down. I had to shut you down. I played the fool before. He would lie about everything for no reason. I don't know. Maybe he thought he was fooling me. I don't know. He just would lie about everything. Like if I asked him where he would say he was at work and he was probably home in the bed. Even when I didn't have concrete proof, I could tell when he was lying. He was never available when I was, and when I wasn't, he was conveniently free. Even after I think he realized I saw through his lies, he stuck to the script. But once I know the truth, it's hard, no, next to impossible to get over on me. He sent me a picture of him and his daughter. He said he was at a wedding. Mind you, he didn't tell me he was going or invite me to go. So I asked him if his daughter was his plus one. I just wanted to see what he was going to say, because this guy thought I was so naive. So he goes on to say, but let me just say, him and his daughter, thick as thieves. He's always with his daughter. So he says. So he goes on to say that his daughter just so happened to be at this wedding helping out a caterer, and he didn't know anything about it. He's never ever mentioned his daughter doing this kind of job before. The way this guy lied, I wouldn't be surprised if he was the groom and this was his wedding. Young people, if you're a giver and they're a taker, and they're a liar and you're a truth teller, your energies won't match. This person played and lied their way right out of my life. You can't continue to hurt someone and expect their energy to remain the same. Even people with good hearts have their limits. If you are in a relationship with someone who is showing you their true colors or trying to groom you to accept the bare minimum, it's a no. Love should make you feel protected and safe, not draining, controlling, or demanding. And emotionally mature people do not pretend to be someone else or play toxic games. I hold no animosity towards my exes, hold no grudges. If I see them, any of them, in the street, I'll wave and say hi. I can be cordial, but just know that there's no circling back. Oh no, none of that. I also accept the part that I played in placing them in a position where they had not earned, deserved, or had the mindset to qualify for. And I hope that they have learned some lessons just like I did and have healed after our relationship or are healing after our relationship and are treating people better. Some of these people who betrayed me broke my entire heart. And I had to have some deep conversations with myself so that I could heal. You can't change the past. You can only move forward by learning the lesson and trusting and believing that you won't make the same mistake again. And I had to keep telling myself that until I got it. I no longer have energy to entertain anyone I have to question. No time to question their motives or intentions. I no longer go off of words because people will make false promises that they won't keep. Watch people's actions because this will show you who they are, what they stand for, and how they feel about you. Be a fool for love if you want to. Just don't be easily fooled because that love potion that they give you may just be poisonous. I hope people get to a place where they stop playing with people's hearts because when you intentionally set out to break someone's soul, you're only breaking your own. I hope this video was helpful and let me know in the comments what red flags you saw and ignored. And that's all for this one. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button before you head out if you haven't already. Thank you for watching. Stay safe and true to yourself until the next one.